Hey there, and welcome back to another video. I'm Matt Shell, and this is Thousand Ant. And in this video, I want to give an update on unfortunately, on the lack of progress on my Untitled Cute Space Game that I'd been doing devlogs about. It's stuck, and I'll explain why. Let's get started. So, as you can imagine, this is not a video. This is not a video I particularly want to make, not a video I'm particularly excited about releasing, but I do think since we're talking about business here on the channel and we're talking about the realities of indie game development and evaluating projects and funding projects and so on, it would be a little bit dishonest of me not to talk about some of the down parts or the more painful parts of the process. And this is kind of where we're at with the Untitled Cute Space Game that I made a lot of devlogs about. And that I haven't talked about in a few months. You may have kind of read between the lines there, seen me not talking about it, and figured out that we're stuck on the project, right? And the reason that we're stuck is money, right? It's a classic case of we thought that we could fund the project with the money that was coming in from our client work, right? Our basically our contract type work that we're doing for clients through our technical marketing agency, Thousand Ant. We thought that we were going to continue making enough from client work to be able to pay out some of the profits into the production of the game, keep the production rolling. I was also trying to raise some money from a German government body. We had some stuff happen without getting into all the details where there were some contracts that were signed with some of our clients that ended up getting backed out of. So there was a gap in the money that we were planning to earn, and this wasn't like, oh, we think maybe we're gonna make this money. It was stuff that was signed that didn't end up getting, that we didn't end up receiving the money for. And so we had a little bit of a scramble back in the summer to close that gap. We had to go into kind of survival mode a little bit, focus on client work. There was zero extra money in the budget to keep paying for the development of the game. And so the game had to kind of go on ice for a bit. And what we've been doing instead for now is focusing on the development of our course, Unity for Software Developers, and the game demo, The Norseman, which is part of that, which is mainly focused on, infallible code. Our partner channel is going to be the kind of main audience and channel where we're releasing that and marketing that. But we kind of had to say, okay, you know what? We need to scale back. We need to do something smaller and something that's going to make money sooner, that has a shorter production cycle, where it doesn't have to be a fully produced commercial game, and where we can earn some money sooner, right? So that we can pay for everything that we need to pay for and keep the business going. It's a bitter lesson, right? And hopefully this being transparent about this shows you I'm talking about business. I'm somebody who knows something about business, right? But I still fall prey to these kind of cognitive biases where I think that I'm going to be able to make everything work and that the stars are going to line up and all the traffic lights are going to turn green in front of me and we're going to make it. And then something goes wrong and you realize, oh, you know what? My plan was not as well backed up, and there weren't, we had plan A, but maybe we didn't have plans B and C. And then you end up having to scramble a little bit. And that's definitely what happened to us. And so it's kind of left the game stuck. The really painful part about it is just after, quite a long period of prototyping, which was really just me working on the weekends, every weekend on the prototype, I actually felt like I had gotten it to a place with this physics-based factory game gameplay where it was the concept and the design was really just starting to break through, and so I'm not abandoning it forever, but I did get to a point where I realized, I was like, to have the money to fund the team to develop this the way it's supposed to be as this kind of 3D space factory game, I need more money than we have, and we had to kind of fall back, go back into client work mode. That's been going okay, thank you to our clients. We really appreciate your business. You're keeping us afloat, right? But it meant that we didn't have extra money in the company to be laying out on top of our regular expenses in order to fund the game. And so we had to kind of scale back. Our internal project that we've been working on has been the course and the Norseman demo that goes with it, which I'm really proud of. I think it's looking really great. And I think the course is going to be a really high quality experience for everybody who takes it, and hopefully will generate some money to fund future projects. But it definitely was a bit of a setback, and we're kind of still, now 6 months later, coming out of it and recovering and getting back to a point where we can, start to fund our own projects and so on. I think this points to the reality of the model of doing contract work to fund your internal productions and how hard that is. I remember watching a talk, I'll link it in the description, I have to find the link, but about cash management in game studios, and there's really a big difference between actual money that's in your bank and money that somebody has promised to give you. They said that the money's coming, you believe that the money's coming, but until you actually have the money, you don't actually have the money, right? And this was another tough lesson. A signed contract is not the same as having the money, right? And that is, that's a hard lesson, and it's easy to say that and believe it and be like, yeah, that sounds right. But then it's really, it was a mistake that I personally made. I was like, yeah, we got this stuff, these are all signed, this is all gonna be good, and then it wasn't good, and it kind of threw our plans off track. So I think this speaks to the difficulty of funding a studio this way. To be totally transparent, it's got me rethinking our business model of, is it really even possible to effectively make games in this structure, right? And it's had me thinking again about, maybe it actually makes a lot more sense to try to go secure a publishing deal, right? And go to a publisher and say, to get a more well-structured commitment of a certain amount of money, the actual amount of money that we need to make the game, instead of trying to cash flow it ourselves and bootstrap and so on. That's definitely something that I'm thinking about right now, and starting to feel like, even if it means giving up, a big chunk of the game, or giving up, some rights or whatever that we maybe wanted to try to keep, giving up a percentage of zero and no game getting made, or giving up a percentage of a game that actually gets made, might be worth it. So that's kind of where my head is at right now, and we're thinking about it again. And once we finish the course project and get that out, then we're gonna be back to thinking about, okay, what's the next internal project we can do? Do we wanna go to a publisher? Do we wanna try to do something small in-house and so on? These are the kind of questions we're going to be trying to answer. But, I just wanted to be transparent with you, who are watching this, because this is what's really happening, and it's not easy. We're really grateful to the clients in our agency business, and that is going well, and we're making money doing that, but we also have to do the work and take care of those clients to do that, right? Which takes time and energy. It's hard to do two things at the same time, and it's extremely hard to fund two things at the same time, right? So something to think about as you're thinking about your own plans and models and how to structure your businesses and so on. A little report from the front lines here from the team here at Thousand Ant, about some of the struggles that we're having, and we're fine, we're going, the team is strong, and we're gonna keep pushing, but it's not a straight line, right? It's not only up and to the right. There's definitely some bumps and dips along the way, and we're definitely going through some of those along with all of you out there, right? It's obviously also just been a crazy couple of years. Trying to do all this in the middle of everything else that's going on is also not easy. But, we're still here, we're still pushing, falling back, surviving, getting ready to push forward again. And as long as we're still in the game, we're still in the game, right? So as always, drop me a comment. Let me know if you've had any kind of similar experiences. Obviously, we're all out here in this together. And I appreciate your being here and being part of this community. Drop a like on the video for the algorithm. Check out the Level 2 Game Dev newsletter, which is linked in the description. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. We appreciate it a lot. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.